All right, so the last case study we'll look at is called Tappers and Listeners. So here's a game you can try with your friends or family. Pick a simple, well-known song, tap that tune on the desk, and see if the other person can guess the song. Loads and loads of fun. A Stanford University graduate student named Elizabeth Newton conducted an experiment in 1990 using the Tapper Listener game. In her study, she recruited 120 tappers and 120 listeners into the study. So, about 50% of the tappers expected the listener would be able to guess the song. So Newton wondered, is 50% a reasonable expectation? So, Newton's research can be framed into two hypotheses. So, one is that the tappers are correct, and generally 50% of the time listeners are able to guess the tune. This would be a proportion of 50%. Or, the tappers are incorrect, and either more than or less than 50% of listeners were able to guess the tune. So that is, the proportion is not equal to 50%. Maybe it's more, maybe less. So, in Newton's study, it turned out to be 3 out of 120 listeners were able to guess the tune. So this meant the point estimate was really 3 out of 120. So a little bit less than 50%, more like 2.5%. From the perspective of the null hypothesis, we might wonder, how likely is it that we could have got these results from chance alone? That is, what's the chance that we would happen to see such a small fraction if the null hypothesis really is true, and the true correct guess rate is 50%. So for this, we're going to use a null value of 50%, 0.5, and the point estimate is basically 3 out of 120 or 1 out of 40, about 2.5%.